Welcome to the REI Agent, a holistic approach to life through real estate. I'm Mattias, an agent and investor.
And I'm Erica, a licensed therapist.
Join us as we interview guests that also strive to live bold and fulfilled lives through business and real estate investing.
Tune in every week for interviews with real estate agents and investors.
Ready to level up?
Let's do it.
Welcome back to the REI Agent. Mattias here. Erica is, again, unable to join us. I think the summer recordings are just going to be challenging. Erica really is wanting to prioritize giving the kids a summer and not just keeping them in the day camps and the things that they're in. Even though they're great and they're enjoying them, she also wants to, be able to take them to swimming lessons and take them to the pool in general and do, fun summer things. So throughout the recording summer months, it may just be more heavily me. We'll enjoy Erica when we can get her. Today, I had a new PR with my clean and jerk at CrossFit. I just wanted to take this opportunity to brag about it. No, I really had this, thought in my head after, it's a great thing. It feels good. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Like when you hit something new, and that's why it's so CrossFit can be very addicting, is there's a lot of skills that you learn throughout it. Not only are you getting stronger, but you have to learn skills where, a clean and jerk and a snatch, for example, there are just things that people work on forever to try to really perfect. And there's so much technique involved that is more or equally as important as strength. And so when you hit something bigger and it goes smoothly, then you feel really accomplished because you've learned a skill and you've gotten stronger. But that's exactly what it made me think of, is just, how we really have, I think they say it's about 35,000 choices that we make every single day. And most of those are kind of either feeding a good habit or a bad habit as one way to look at it. I mean, not everyone, but you can start thinking through what choices you're making, to how to spend your time, what you're investing your time in, what you're investing your energy, your thoughts into. And if that is, building yourself into a positive direction. So, what you choose to eat, what you choose to do with your spare time. Are you scrolling TikTok? I know I'm guilty about scrolling some TikTok. I'm not going to lie and pretend that I'm perfect over here. But there's also choosing to wake up or choosing to sleep in. All of those things are habits that kind of build, they strengthen either the good or the bad. So if you are choosing to have that alcoholic drink, or have that fourth one or whatever, that is increasing that habit that will make it more likely to happen again tomorrow or whenever. So it's really just a good way to think about life, is that it's easy to be today I'm going to sleep in, and I know sleep is very important, so I'm not going to say that that's not a good thing to do every once in a while. I need to sleep in right now. Have that drink, or just, I'm just going to get something quick and easy to eat. All those things are, one-offs are not bad, but the thing is that you are then feeding that habit. So it becomes a lot harder to eat something unhealthy if you have been eating very healthily for a long time. And also, it's not that it happens immediately. If you try to do a New Year's resolution and you're just going to stop eating junk food altogether, stop, no sugar, immediately, right after Christmas, it's going to be really hard and you're going to fail. So, it's important to look at it building over time. And the clean and jerk is a really good example. I found an old video of me doing a clean and jerk, and I don't know what the weight was. I didn't add it up. It wasn't much. And my clean was just ugly. It was really bad. And, I even said it in the video, oh, that was terrible. But it's just one of the things that, if you focus on it, if you keep working on it, eventually you'll get better and better and better. It might've been 100 pounds or something that I was cleaning at that point. And today I did 275. And that is, something that I maybe would never have believed that I would get to when I first started. But it's just, a matter of, you get stronger what you put your time and energy into. I'm going to stop rambling about CrossFit and lifting weights. I'm going to start talking about our guest today, Matt Muscat. Matt was a really, really good guest. If you're an agent, if you are needing to market your services at all, he is a great mind at marketing. He is coming from the lending side of things, but he has a clear example of why he's a great marketer is that he has devoted a lot of time and energy to helping agents get better at marketing. And so when an agent that he helps get better at marketing has business that, that they need a referral to, they're likely going to go to that company, to him. And so it's just a great example about how marketing really needs to be focused on the person you're marketing to. Like, what do they care about? Do they really care about your, recent sale? Maybe not. It might remind them that you're in the business, but does it really something they really care about? Do you see Geico Insurance talking about how many quotes they filled that day? You don't care about that. So they have converted to making funny jokes with a gecko. And that is something that people enjoy more than maybe hearing about the policy they just signed. So all that to say, it is a really good episode. He's got a book you can read. He gives tons of good information in the actual podcast itself. So definitely check this one out. And he has services and things that you can find. And he puts them we'll have them in the show notes, and he mentions them at the end. But yeah, without further ado, definitely pay attention. Stay through this whole one. It's a great, lots of tips. Here's Matt Muscat. Welcome back to the REI Agent. I'm here with Matt Muscat. Matt, thanks so much for joining us.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Hey, so you gave me a little bit of a rundown about all the things that you're into. You're a great fit for this show. But I think this is going to be a really focused on marketing kind of episode. So everybody loves some good marketing tips when they're, I guess I should just start with my pet peeve. And I've said it a number of times in this episode or in this podcast is the only thing that comes out is like a forced awkward picture with your client at the closing table, like where they don't really want to be there. And you kind of pressure them into this picture. I know it does serve a purpose. It does, remind people that you're active and in the business, but there is a lot more opportunity. And I would also say that, I don't think many of your followers, the people on your social media, et cetera, really care about that sale. They might, again, be reminded that you do the business, but that doesn't really impact their lives. And I mean, all of us are kind of selfish. Tell me a little bit about, maybe you want to start with how you got into this marketing space and kind of tell me about some of your ideas behind marketing in general and some good practices.
Yeah. Well, absolutely. And I kind of want to riff off what you just said. My number one pet peeve is when people don't have a strategy. And I think those people that are just repetitively posting the same thing, whether it's social media or whether it's the same mass email or canned email that your company gave you, that's not a strategy that you're going to use to make money and build wealth in real estate. That's hope marketing. You're hoping that because you're cool, you're awesome, you're pretty or whatever, that business will come to you when people are going to buy and sell. And that's simply not a plan. That's just blind luck. So everything that we're going to talk about today is the opposite of that. But yeah, so I got started, I was in school back in 2010, studying internet marketing and business. And dude, like the real estate industry, you people literally had ruined the entire world economy, right? Like you were selling strippers home, like 5 homes for like 0% down on 7-year ARM mortgages. And
I'm gonna point the finger back at the lenders.
At the mortgage side, yeah. So like I said, so that was the industry that I was walking into. And unfortunately, since the world economy had crashed, I was finishing grad school and there were no jobs out there. And I remember calling my mom and saying, I got one offer and it was from a mortgage company. And she's like, don't do that. That's you don't want to be in real estate. And I took it and the rest is history. So when I got started, my company was like, hey, can you get us leads? Can you get us business? And I said, sure, I'll build websites, I'll do social media. Twitter was new at that point, right? It wasn't X yet, it wasn't political. And we just started doing marketing and getting leads. And then I said, well, what else? Because I'm not that busy. And they said, well, there are these people called realtors. And if you can get them to like us, they'll send us business because we were a mortgage company. And so I said, cool, I'm like 22, how do I get a realtor to want to send us business? They said, well, why don't you like tell them the same stuff about marketing and like websites and social media that you did for us? If they get business, they'll like us, and then they'll send us stuff. And kind of the rest is history. So fast forward 15 years, I've probably had 4,000 sit-down meetings with different realtors and real estate professionals. From every person like yourself today, I'm sure, I'm going to learn all of your secrets of how you get business, or how you at least get business in this market. And I'm going to meet with someone else tomorrow and give them a variety of your ideas. And we're going to come up with a strategy that's really specific to the agent. So since then, run a podcast, wrote a book on real estate marketing, had a lot of fun, traveled to some cool places, and then obviously started using that income to invest in real estate. So that's kind of my whole story other than my hobbies.
Well, that's awesome. The first thing I want to get into about what you just said is like, that is good marketing. You are providing a value to an agent that, they really can use. Like that is like valuable to that agent. That will make them want to work with you for sure. And I've had, obviously, as an agent that's been in the business for a long time, I have a various agent or people that reach out to me in different ways to try to gain business. Really, I mean, they want to maintain the relationship with me, etc. And sometimes, especially when I'm really busy, it's just a nuisance.
An annoying phone call.
Yeah,
it sucks.
Yeah, and so this is a great example of like, if there's any mortgage advisors listening, this is a great example of how you can really provide some value to somebody, because I think most agents do not understand marketing well. And most agents, they're not in it. They don't get their real estate license thinking they're going to be these like a marketer, right? I mean, other than the house, like that's something that they expect to be doing, but not themselves or not their business. And so that's incredibly valuable. And I think that's probably a testament to how you would be good as a marketer for agents as well, because you'd be focused on what is providing value, what is something that people want. And that's what good marketing is, right? I mean,
well, turn that around. I mean, you could turn that around really quickly for an agent. I know it's a lot of agents listening, but the bad joke that I make all the time is that like realtors in our industry are kind of like, whether they do business or not, by the way, realtors are like the pretty girl in school, and lenders are like the annoying dudes that are just trying to get with them constantly. Right? So like if I have happy hour with my realtor friends, I mean, 3 calls will come in from local lenders to try to get lunch with them. And there's just very little value being offered most of the time. They all say we communicate, we close quick, we offer this one weird program, whatever. It's all the same. But think about that. If you're a realtor, you calling one of like a random lead or a past client or someone is kind of the same thing. And so I want realtors to hear this message too from the other side of it, because most realtors are told by their brokers that they need to call their database, that they need to call leads. But the problem is they're not being told what to say. So usually what do they say? They say, hey, ring, 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 it's John the realtor. Hey, I just wanted to let you know, Matt, that if you're ever looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate, I would love to make money off of you. It's a BS call. That call sucks. It's the same as the lender calling you, you're not offering value, right? So like, how could you flip that conversation and create an opportunity or present an opportunity for that client on the phone call? Because like, yes, you should be making those calls, but the topic should not be how you could make money off them. It should be something of value to them or something interesting. Like, I want to find out on every conversation that I'm having how that person makes money, what their livelihood is, what their family values. And I want to offer tips, advice, and connections on those topics. And that way, when they see my name coming up on their phone, they know that I'm there to offer value. And then hopefully at the end of the conversation, they offer some value to me. But that's kind of the whole goal there. Yeah.
I think I've looked at it often as being a very systematic, like really good friend to your sphere. Like, so you want to have systems behind it so that you are maintaining those relationships, because it's easy to forget. But you just want to be a good friend, I see the things like, a referral is the best compliment, and email signatures, which that's not as bad, but like directly asking or making the call all about that, is definitely off-putting, and they're not going to want to pick up the phone the next time you call. A couple things that I do, or I think I try to position myself in, is be the go-to person if they need anything house related or need a recommendation at all. I am a connector. I am the person that knows, all the service providers and could give great recommendations no matter what they need. If they have an HVAC that goes out or whatever, I get texts all the time asking for advice about things like that. And that's a welcomed connection. I'm providing value there. Another great practice is obviously the Ford method, where you just kind of
family, occupation, recreation, dreams. It's unbelievably powerful, and it hasn't changed for 50 years.
It's such a simple thing, but yeah, that teases out a lot of information that could be valuable to you, but also it's all about them, and they're going to be excited to talk about those things, and they'll probably ask you questions back. And you can be a friend.
And if you think about that, like any agent listening who's looking for an activity to work on in the next couple of weeks when they might be slow, the activity I like to give people is look at your database, like whether it's an Excel sheet or a fancy CRM system that your company provides, and go through every client. And until you can fill out the notes section with the Ford model, with their family, their occupation, their recreation, their dreams, you're not done. Because a CRM system that just has contact information is a very empty, lonely place. Versus if I know what you do for a living, if I know your livelihood and I understand your goals, your family situation, the number of kids you have, the square footage of your current place, like I, as a salesperson, should be able to then figure out what's my plan of attack. And I'm not saying that we're attacking customers, but like I cannot help you better your life with the value that I bring without knowing those items. And so if you're an agent that wants to get business, or any salesperson, just go into each contact and add the Ford model. And if you don't know the items, reach out, call, schedule a coffee, get real.
That's amazing. That's great. I love that. And, I think to expand on that even more, the more notes you can take, the better. I mean, add in things like if you see on social media or whatever, their kid had a birthday and how old they turned, like you can add in their birthday. And, that could be something that you could set up an automation to send a card or something to them for their kid's birthday. And that's probably something that nobody else would be doing. And it's a nice little touch, just the remembering of it. And kids' names for sure. I mean, that's big. Like I think a lot of people will remember their clients' names, but may not always remember their kids' names. And that, for me, it doesn't come naturally. Like I have to do things like write them down. And then also sometimes when I know a lot of people, sometimes if it's somebody I met 8 years ago and I have like some weird memory about them, can't remember their name, I can search my database and for, what I remember about them. And usually it pops up, and that helps me save face, when I go to say hi, because I remember.
Well, I think I want everyone who's like older, like me on this, who's listening, to remember that like, it's not about kids anymore, right? I have kids. But having kids stopped being cool like 4 years ago. Now it's just dogs and cats. I think the National Association of Realtors put out a thing that said there are 70% of American homeowners have pets and only 40% have kids. So you got to remember the pets' names, because that's where Gen Z is going. Kids are too expensive, apparently. As you and I both know.
Yeah, totally. That's why we have to invest.
That's why we have to invest. That's why we're here today.
Okay, so we've covered some kind of like, I guess, general maybe mindset or theory behind like kind of how you should approach marketing, right? I mean, do you have anything else kind of like high level marketing wise that agents should know or keep in mind when they're approaching the marketing that they're doing, or their interactions with clients in general?
Do you want some examples of like some very tangible, specific things they could do to get deals today? Okay.
Yeah.
So, at the end of the day, it all starts with a time block. And I'm sure we've all heard time block, accountability, whatever. But the problem is, like, most people, if I were to look at the calendar of an average agent, which I've done 4,000 times, I don't see enough lead producing activities in their calendar. So start out by choosing 12 to 15 hours a week of time in your calendar that you're not going to overbook. So if it's a time that you're always out doing showings, don't choose that time. If it's a time that overlaps with kids pick up at school, don't choose that time. It needs to be a time that works all year, summer, spring, fall, whatever. And then you want to then insert opportunity creating or lead generating activities in those times. So then the next question is, well, what are examples of those activities? The first one I'm going to give you is the simplest one possible. We're all on social media, but most of us just shout and post. We don't actually like do any lead generation or things that are in our control. So this strategy has worked for every single agent I've ever done it with. It's super, super simple. You're going to organize your friends list in some fashion. Now, you can do it alphabetically. You could do it by who you've talked to most recently. You pick, I don't care. What you're going to do is you're going to choose 25 people per day to DM. So on Facebook, this is Messenger. It's on Insta. This is through direct message. And I don't think this really works well on any of the other social media sites at the moment. You're going to DM them, but then you're going to tell me like, well, what am I going to say? Okay. Here's what to say. Click on their profile, look at what they've done recently, and message them about that topic. So if you go to my profile, you would see that I just posted seeing if anyone had any Japanese yen I could buy off them because I'm taking my family on vacation. So you might be like, hey, Matt, dude, haven't talked to you in forever. Hope you're doing well. When are you going to Japan? My wife and I just went. Would love to share some tips that work for us. What do you think the percentage chances that I'm going to respond to that?
I mean, there's
100.
Very high. Yeah.
You posted, like I posted about something I cared about that I wanted help on.
Yeah.
You messaged me to offer me help. Of course I'm going to respond.
Right.
Versus, what do most agents do? They like send a weird message like, hey, checking in. How are you? What's new? We all know if a realtor is asking you what's new, they want to sell you something. It's annoying.
Right.
Every single person who's active on social is posting about what they care about. You message them about that. And then what usually happens and why you will make money off of this is twofold. Number one, every time you have a DM, that triggers the algorithm to say, hey, we're interested in each other again. So their Facebook Meta is going to start showing that other person your post when they haven't seen it recently. So that listing you post yesterday or the listing you're posting tomorrow, they're now going to see it. These people might not even realize that you're in real estate if you're new or if you just switched careers. So that's number one. Number two, all these people that you're asking questions to, usually a normal person at some point is going to ask you an open-ended question like, how are you? What's new? What's going on? How are the kids? That is when you now need to take control of their open-ended question, take control of the conversation, and guide it in the direction you want it to go. So you talked about Japan, you talked about your vacation, and now they're going to say, dude, how are you? I haven't talked to you in a while. And you say, like, hey, doing really well. Growing my real estate business this year, just closed deal number 9, working with a lot more investors. They're like, dude, I had no idea you were in real estate. Now, only 1 in 10 people is going to really engage with you on the real estate topic. But again, you're doing this 25 times a day. Almost every day you will get 1 or 2 that ask you either for more information or that are interested. But then also those people are going to work the next day. They're talking to people who then might say, oh, I'm looking for a realtor, but you've put that hook in there. They remember your name now. So honestly, if for every 100 messages you send out, you will usually get 4 to 5 transactions 3 months later. That is the number. We've seen it time and time and time again. Now, if you're way younger, if you're like an 18 to 22-year-old agent and none of your friends are home buying age, the numbers can be different. And you have to kind of adjust your approach on that. And usually if that's the case, you need to kind of like document how you're investing in real estate in your story to get your friends jealous so that they can basically try to do the same thing. So there's still ways to do it if you're younger, but you have to be a little bit more strategic.
That's really good. That's really smart. The whole like algorithm connecting more after the fact is a plus, because immediately I was thinking I'm just going to text, but that makes sense why that's
at the end of the day, like a face-to-face meeting is the best, a phone call is second best, text is probably third best, and then DMs are fourth. But with the DMs, you do get that added value of the algorithm. Now, are you a texting guy?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I can give you a texting one that's completely different if you want it.
Sure. This is gold stuff.
Here's the easiest thing. I probably talked about this on the internet 1,000 times. And if anyone wants a full PDF on this, they can DM me and I'll send it to them. But this is my second best strategy. And this actually might be better if you're in a good real estate market. So what I want you to do is every day, find 3 listings in your area that are cool, that are exciting, that are cheap, that are terrible, that are amazing. Find 3 interesting properties. Choose properties that have been in the market for 7 days or more, not brand new ones. And then for each property, choose 3 people in your database. These could be active buyers. These could be random friends, sphere of influence, family, friends, neighbors, whatever, coworkers, doesn't matter. And for each property, you're going to text 3 people and say, hey, Matt, hope you're doing well. I know you're not interested in buying a house right now, but I had to send you this property. This is 5 doors down from where you live, but it's $300,000 more than your house. Thought you'd like to know. Or, hey, Matt, I know you're not looking to buy a house right now, but this property just listed 5 blocks from your work. If you know anyone at your office that needs to move closer to work, let them know. Or, hey, Matt, I know you're not looking for a house right now, but 2 years ago when we helped you buy, you wanted something modern and we couldn't find it. This just popped up. Dude, I had to send it to you.
Yeah.
I'm basically just sending a message letting you know that I was thinking about you. B, letting you know I have my thumb on the pulse of the real estate market. And C, I'm trying to create an opportunity. And I know that I'm going to convert 5 to 10% of all my opportunities. And the reason I know this is because I am a sucker and I purchased 2 homes because realtors made these calls to me. Like I literally bought my first investment property because a realtor called me out of the blue and was like, hey, Matt, I know you're not going to buy a house right now, but I know you're in mortgages and you could probably close the deal quick if you had to. I just had a buyer back out on this investment property. It's only $50,000. I think you would rent for $2,000 a month. Your mortgage would probably be a lot less than that. If you wanted it, let me know because I know you could close quick. And I was like, sure, I'll take. Like, of course, I want to make free. And a couple months later, she did it to me again on my primary house. She was like, hey, I saw online that you and your wife really like modern stuff, modern architecture. This home just listed. You should see it. I'm like, no, I'm good. She's like, no, just come see it. You don't need to buy it. Just come look at it. You'll love it. It'll be a fun time. And then we offered on. Like, this is, that deal would have never happened had she not put the opportunity in my head. Now, unfortunately, I found out years later that I was one of 30 calls she made that day about that house. But it only took one bite. Like, it only took 30 phone calls for her to make a $15,000 commission off of me.
Yeah.
Right? Like, she called 30 people. I bit. She made $15K. I don't know what other industries you can get that kind of ROI that aren't adult industry websites. Even then, probably not.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think it's a great point that, I think the thing that really sticks out to me is that there's the connection there, like that there's a reason they're reaching out to you about it. And there's a, memory of you, it's not just if the property, it would probably be really annoying if the property had no appeal to you at all, right? Like it was a totally off the planet Earth as to what you actually would be interested in.
Right, like half of my database are investors. So for them, that's easy. Like I come up with a list of 10 investment properties in our market every week, and I send it out to all of our people that are interested in investment properties. And every week we sell one. Do we sell 10? No. One time we sold 3. It's just one of the 25 things we do every single week to ensure that we're creating business, because we do not want to rely on having people remember who we are and hoping that they come back to us. Like, we're not just doing client appreciation events and, thank you calls. Like, we're doing all those things. We're doing the basics. But we want to be in control of ensuring how much business comes in. Yeah,
I love it. I have a tip. I'm wondering if you've heard this one before. For if you need something to talk to people about, that blanket works for especially your older sales. We all went through, a period of rapid growth evaluation. So if anybody bought before like 2020, for example, you could re-engage your database with this one, and that's that you give them a call and you just say, hey, look, I was remembering that we, bought this house 8 years ago. The market has drastically gone up since then. And I was just thinking about how you may not be properly insured. And I'm just wondering if you talked with your insurance agent recently about, making sure that you have enough coverage given the amount of gain and valuation that we've had. And that can open the door to, giving them a CMA. You could do that with an automated system maybe, or actually go to the house and give them one. But it's a great touch point where the times I've done it, people were like, I would never have thought of that. Thank you. And I don't know how
creating value. Like, you're creating value for your clients, and it's a reason to pick up the phone. We've done a similar one with, because like everyone's we started doing the like, here's your home value, and then everyone else did it. So what we've been doing recently is like return on down payment, because it seems like a much higher number. So most agents know in general like what their clients put down, how long they lived in the home, what it was worth, what it is now. So if they put $5,000 down and now the home's worth $90,000 more 5 years later, that's a ridiculous ROI when you put it as a percent that like you can't get in any other investment on the market. I mean, Bitcoin didn't do that well. So I like to take numbers and just present them in a way that other people are not doing. And almost it becomes like a self-congratulation call, because you were the one that helped them buy the house in the first place, and in many cases inspired them to buy a home.
Yeah, that's a really good one. I love it. Those kind of things are, like where you can really, stand out and provide value, as opposed to just, more annoying, annoying people.
Yeah. We could just, maybe the title of the episode is Stop Being Annoying. Stop annoying your customer.
Yeah. Though it's almost better to not reach out. Almost.
Yeah, like it is. And you know, it's really interesting because, so I've purchased probably 10 homes in my lifetime, in my short lifetime, and sold 2, purchased 10. And of the realtors I've worked with, I can tell you the number who stay in touch with me, and that is 2. 2 out of like 12. I don't hear from the other 10. Now, they know that I'm still buying because I'm posting about that all the time, but they don't try. Now, other side of the stone, my wife shops at like a high-end shop for her jeans because they sell the best jeans in our town. When she buys a pair of jeans for like, I don't know, $150, they give her champagne when she walks in. They send her thank you notes. They offer to like babysit our kids while we're shopping. I mean, like the level of service and above and beyond that they provide to make, what's commission on jeans these days? Like 15%? Like they're gonna make $15 on this pair of jeans.
Right.
It's like the realtor that made 20 again. It's bizarre. And so like make phone calls that are positive, skip the annoying ones, but then do make the right follow-ups. Like please do something.
Yeah, definitely. These are really, really, really good tips. You mentioned, having a strategy. So this is all strategy. Do you have any other suggestions for social media strategy or just marketing strategy in general that would be good for people to put in place?
Yeah, so the 3x3 and the social media deep strategy, those are probably the 2 biggest ones. I think a third one that I continually hear from agents about is really making sure that you have a strategy to get business from other realtors. So there's a huge migration happening right now in the country because prices and climate are changing drastically, right? Like half of our country is unaffordable to live in. Half of our country is too hot, too cold, bad weather, weather's too good, prices go up too high. I don't know. The grass is always greener somewhere else. And so with that, we're seeing just a lot more moves, I think, like from one city to a new city or state than we've ever seen before. So agents right now who are actually prospecting other realtors to get their referral business and then making that process easy are getting great business off it. I had a woman on my podcast today who said she did $3 million, which in her market was 8 sales off of referrals last year. And I know multiple agents who are doing that level of business off of other agent referrals, and I think it's huge. The piece no one's talking about is that you can actually get referrals from agents at your own office or get business from them. What I mean by this is if you're a brand new young agent with nothing going on, find like the 30 agents at your office. Every office has one. Find the 30 agents who do no business because they're bordering on retirement, but they do 2 or 3 deals a year. And just let them know, hey, if you don't want to show these homes, I'll do it for X price, or you can refer the person to me and I'll pay you 25% for doing nothing while you're in Florida all winter. I have an agent who markets to other agents in his office every year in November to let them know he can cover for them while they're on vacation for the winter. So many agents, go to Florida for the winter.
Yeah.
So every year he picks up 12 or so deals in the winter off these other people and he refers them 25 to 30%. It's a great deal all around. So there's business to be had, but you just have to get creative with it.
Yeah, I love that. I don't think I remember the 3x3. You mentioned that for social media, or the other one. What?
Yeah, so 3x3 for social media was just the one where you choose 3 properties a day and you choose 3 people from your database to call about each property.
Got it. Okay, never mind.
Kind of the idea of creating opportunities and hooks versus like waiting for people to call you.
Sure. And is there content strategies that you would recommend as well, like at what to actually put out if you're trying to post once a day, or what would be the strategy there?
So if you're posting, make sure to go 80% fun, personal, community, and maybe 20% business, because I think like unless you're Ryan Serhant selling Beverly Hills on Netflix, like I don't think people truly care that much, right? Yeah. So I would go 80% personal, fun, and I'd put out things that are mildly controversial, but not like political, religious, offensive. So controversial, but not offensive. So I'll give you my best example. The simplest example, my marketing teacher taught me this in college. Peanut butter. Matt, do you prefer crunchy or smooth?
I typically just have smooth.
Well, you're wrong, because smooth is disgusting. Anyone that chooses smooth is obviously wrong. We could probably argue about this all day, because it's a polarizing, controversial topic, but it's not offensive.
Right.
So Pepsi versus Coke, best burger spot in town, things that are going to get the comment war going, but that aren't going to like piss off half of your clients. Now, I might be pissed off about the peanut butter thing because like I really believe crunchy's the best. But I think in your strategy for social, you need to post things that are guaranteed to get some sort of reaction.
Some engagement,
and like they all can't just be talking head videos of you saying, hey, if you're a first-time home buyer thinking about buying a house, give me a call. Where's the meat? Where's the hook? Why should I talk to you? Versus like I might put one out today that says, hey, click here to join tag a friend below who's buying in the next 12 months so that we can add them to our waiting list for a $25,000 down payment assistance. Now, there is really down payment assistance. There isn't really a waiting list, but we're going to say there's a waiting list because we want people to like give us their name so that we can get them on the list. So we got to come up with an interesting hook for everything you do. So like if you're thinking about posting anything on social, think, who cares? Like, who cares? How could we phrase it differently? And the easiest way right now is to go into ChatGPT, type in what you were thinking about posting and say, give me a hook that's guaranteed to get engagement about this topic. It'll give you 5 ideas. Yeah.
That's really good. That's really smart. What about if you have a team that has a social media profile? Is it just, everybody's encouraged to post things personally about themselves as well from the team, or?
So if you're a team and you guys have a team profile, usually one person needs to own and manage it. So whether that's an admin and then that person's in charge of like making sure that you get content from everyone on the team, I think that's hugely, hugely important. I think teams do a poor job of being engaging on their social media. Most of them just post, but they don't like engage and talk. Versus like individual realtors with social media profiles do a much better job of engaging. So I think that's the key thing to kind of watch out for there.
One tip I heard once that I thought was really good was to get this in the back of your head at all times is look for B-roll. Like just try to film B-roll. Maybe film like something every day. Maybe that should be the goal. Or just put a folder in your photos for B-roll, and then you can just have that. You can give that to if you have a virtual assistant or whoever that's creating content, and then they can use a B-roll of you showing a house or whatever, and then they can make content off of that that you can share. Then so you're not having to think what you're actually going to share when you're filming. You're just like this is great. It's a pretty house. I'm going to film a little bit there, or I'm driving to a showing. Well, you probably shouldn't be filming while you're doing that, but you get the point.
I've seen plenty of agents do videos in the car. It's kind of like scary, but it's also like, they're a hard worker.
Yeah. So I thought that was a good tip, and I've tried to increase that a little bit as well. But it's a whole job. I mean, it really is, and I think a lot of people are not good at it. And if you feel like you need to put that social media out there, maybe, do you think virtual assistants or hiring people, you have a company for this, right?
Yeah. So I think it's hard to hire out social media because it takes the social out of social media. You can hire a virtual assistant to help you. Yeah. You can hire a virtual assistant to like help you edit videos, for instance. So hiring a company to help you with your social media strategy is great. Like a company that can help you come up with the topics that you're going to do, reels that you could attempt to clone or copy. That's a great use of a VA. Second would be you record the video of you talking, and then they splice it up. They do the cover image, they get it posted, they do all those things. But you need to have time scheduled to go in and engage with people that are talking to you after your video. I mean, that's the critical part that I think most people, when they hire it out, miss out on.
That makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. It's just kind of noise almost, even if you're trying to give good tips or whatever. That makes a lot of sense. I had a follow-up question too. You had mentioned something. Oh, yeah. You had mentioned some AI videos, maybe before we got on the call.
Yeah.
What are you seeing with that?
It's mind-blowing, dude. I mean, I can make a video. I have an AI avatar of me. So I loaded my likeness into AI. I have 3 different outfits, and I can make more. It's my voice. It's my likeness. When I do a video, I type in whatever I want what I want myself to say, and they just kind of they edit out my lips here. I have better teeth with AI, I've noticed. But I can make videos way faster now than I could before, because I don't necessarily have to have my video guy. I don't need to worry about microphones or any of that stuff. Lighting, how I look that day, do I have a zit or not? I type away, and the words come out of my mouth and my voice. And that's not an expensive AI. I'm literally paying, I think, like $60 a month for an unlimited package. I can also do educational videos from someone else's likeness. So there's like 10,000 people out there who've licensed themselves to software for AI so that you can make videos of them talking. So I can do like customer review videos. I can do explainer videos. I always, like, buried in the description, I'll usually say like this content was enhanced with AI.
Yeah.
You don't want to be like totally foolish, but I'll always put like a little disclaimer there.
Is it realistic or a cartoon kind of?
I mean, I don't know if we have screen share capabilities here, but like it is literally me.
Okay.
Like
we should be able to. Yeah, there's a present, but.
Yeah, it is an outfit that I own in a room in my office. Like,
that's awesome.
With my actual voice. So now it took me some time. I had to record a 10-minute long HD quality video, and I had to do a couple takes of it. I had to read a script where every possible syllable that could come out of my mouth came out in this video, so that AI could build a model of what I sound like and what different syllables sound like coming out of my tongue. I did one excited, I did one monotone, I've done professional. And so like I can then tell it, make it sound excited or speed it up or slow it down or make it sound funny or make it sound empathetic. And every day it gets better. So the big thing with AI for realtors to remember is that yesterday was the worst that AI will ever be. And today is the best that it's ever been at the same time. So it's changing daily. You really just need to kind of play around with it and see how you could use it. Video is just one that I've been using a lot more for recently. My biggest kind of funny ones have just been starting a video by telling people that it's not me. And then that usually gets laughs. And then I roll into like my AI version of myself saying whatever I want to say.
Yeah, I think that's kind of important, that people don't feel like it's deceptive. You know, because I've talked about or I've explored and wanted to use some like services like AI chatbots and that kind of thing. And I think there's great ways that can be implemented, but I also don't want it to be pretending that it's a real person. You know what I mean? I want it to be kind of like making a joke about, hey, I'm AI bot. Or AI assistant for the team or whatever. And I think that if you can make a clever, funny name, I think it's an enjoyable experience versus like, they're trying to make it sound like they're I got somebody 24/7 with them that is answering texts. What's the service you were using for the video?
It's called HeyGen, HeyGen. There's 10,000 things the site does, but AI video is the biggest thing.
Okay, cool. Yeah, no, it's AI is a wild world, and I am definitely relying heavily on that. Do you find that there's a model better for social media research, social media content development than others? If you're, ChatGPT, Claude, I mean, if you're trying to find out.
It's all about the prompts that you use, right? So like, ChatGPT is fantastic if you know what to type in to get good results. So like the tip I would give you, if you're using it for Facebook or for Instagram content, it's not great at creating images yet. It's okay. Like I can't create a video with ChatGPT, but I can create a script for a video and then put it into another AI video software and then use that. So sometimes you do have to jump around a little bit, but if you give it a good prompt for Facebook and say like, hey, I'm a 37-year-old realtor living in Manhattan, and my goal is to do a post that converts my friends into potential investors. Please write me 5 options for posts that elate excitement and fear of loss and use statistics and 90s pop culture references. Like that's a very specific prompt, right? But if I were to write that prompt, it would give me 5 very specific answers. Then I might say, before each response, explain to me your logic on why your idea is a good idea. And then it'll actually show its work and explain to you the reasoning behind it, which literally, like, it's better than what your intern can do on day one. So that's how I would use it. I think it's less about the software that you use, and because it's all drawing from the same stuff, it's more about the prompts that you give it.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. That's really helpful. Good tips. And I love the 90s references, because that is what would what would hit for my crew as well. Yeah, man, I feel like I have a million questions I could ask you. But we can probably just go right into that golden nugget thing. Yeah. I mean, you've given us a million already. Do you have any other golden nuggets to share?
Yeah, so you kind of mentioned, you touched on this at the beginning, so I feel like I'm kind of piggybacking off you, but my golden nugget is something that like a title professional taught me 12 years ago. And she said, Matt, your number one skill is not marketing. Your number one skill is building social capital and a huge list of people that owe you one and want to invest in your future. And I didn't really know what it meant at the time, but basically it's a tip that every realtor can use, because like you said before, every realtor is in the position to refer so many other people, right? Like just in the transaction alone, you have a lender, an insurance agent, a title company, an inspector. You then, after they move in, you have a contractor. You refer them to local businesses. Maybe they need a place to get their haircut. Maybe they need a new church. Maybe they need a bowling league. I don't know, a daycare facility. So you're connecting them, but most realtors, what they're not doing is writing down and tracking the referrals they give. They only track the referrals they get if they're good at their job. So what I'm suggesting is, what you measure, you will be successful with. So measure the referrals you give out, and then simply call all those people and businesses at the end of every year, or maybe more, and say, hey, were those good referrals? Like, I sent you 3 clients that wanted to remodel their homes. Did you close them? Did you make money off that? Was that good for your family? Like, do you want more like that? Awesome. And then the likelihood is they're going to then remember what you did for them and hopefully send some back to you. Constantly just like people so that they like me more, so that then when I need something, they think of me. So like half the time, like if I'm trying to get with a realtor and get them to send us business, but I don't like have business to send them yet, I'll find out what they need. I'd be like, hey, like, oh, you're really busy. Oh, you don't even have time to work the buyers you do have. Well, do you want me to refer you a new agent that could join your team? Because I meet with 20 new agents a month, and I can connect you with a new agent. And they'd be like, dude, if you connect me with a new agent, I'll definitely send you a deal. So I do. And then I guarantee that I'll get business in the future from the person I referred to them and them. So it's always like just building that social capital in a creative way. And every one of your clients needs something, whether they're a teacher and they need school supplies once a year, or whether they're a nurse and they just want some comfy compression socks delivered to them and their fellow nurses a couple times a quarter. Like everyone needs something. Maybe if they're rich, they need a donation to their favorite charity, or maybe they need you to show up and volunteer, or maybe they need you to babysit their kids when they're going out. I don't know. Everyone needs something, but track it so that you can call and follow up. That's my nugget.
I love it. That's really good advice. And yeah, you have to have that time blocking dedicated to get these things done. I mean, you have to be working on your business, not just in your business, and be intentional about building that social capital, and being a systematic, really good friend to your sphere. So that's perfect. What about a favorite book, a fundamental book that you think everybody should read, or just one you're kind of currently enjoying?
Yeah, so I'll give you 2. I'll give you like a amusing one, and then I'll give you like a super business one. So the super business one that I like right now, I've read it a couple times. I'm making my kids read it. It's called The Richest Man in Babylon. It's like 60 pages, if that. And it's almost like what I would describe as like a parable about a guy, 5,000, 10,000 years ago that learns the value of hard work and what happens if you don't work hard. It kind of talks about starting a business, investing a little bit, just an awesome read. And the message is so simple for anyone to understand. So that's like the business one. The fun one is about the story of Ernest Shackleton, who was the first, first boat captain to go to the Antarctic or the Arctic. And it's a story of like leadership, courage, endurance. It's one of the craziest true stories ever told. It gives me goosebumps every time I read it. And I mean, it is a story. It's It's Moby Dick meets inspiration. Just an awesome book.
I love that kind of stuff. I got really inspired by Teddy Roosevelt there for a little bit, and he had once he lost a presidential race, he tried to chart a new section of the Amazon River. It's something I'd never heard of before, but that kind of exploration stuff is, it's awesome. I love it. I'll have to check that out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Teddy was a crazy guy. A great president. Anyway, so
you have to be a little bit crazy to want to be president, but that's a whole nother story.
Well, yeah,
just become a realtor, you can make way more money.
There you go. Yeah, he got shot, and he just kept talking. He's like, it takes more than that to kill a bull moose, and he just kept doing his speech. What a man. Anyway, so I am not running for president. I agree with you. I'd rather live a quiet life and sell some real estate and invest and kind of live free of complications and headaches. And that sounds like a big headache to me. What about if anybody's interested in, you have services as well. So, you said, is it like web development? How can they reach out to you and follow you?
A couple things. So if you're a realtor and if you're a lender, if you're a realtor and you're listening, you have questions, I am an open book. I can send you some guides on some of the marketing that we offer. You can check out my book on Amazon. It's called TAG, the Tangible Action Guide for Real Estate Marketing. But if you're a realtor in the United States and you have a question, DM me on Instagram. I'm an open book. You'll get to see marketing videos and tips that I post, as well as pictures of me traveling with my family and our travel tips. So on there, I'm Matt Muscat 88. Super simple. But if you're looking for do some of the marketing for you and you want to do some lead generation on Google Ads, building a new website, I'm your guy. My wife and I own a web development firm. We do search engine optimization, Google Ads, Google Business, and a whole host of other services to help them make their own AR. So if you're interested, hit me up on Instagram. You can email me, matt@maltesemarketing.com.
Well, Matt, it was a very fun conversation. I think a lot of people will gain lots of beneficial information, lots of gold nuggets throughout the whole episode. So thanks so much for being on the show.
Thanks. It was a blast.
Thanks for listening to the REI Agent.
If you enjoyed this episode, hit subscribe to catch new shows every week.
Visit reiagent.com for more content.
Until next time, keep building the life you want.
All content in the show is not investment advice or mental health therapy. It is intended for entertainment purposes only.